Hello humans, it's just Martine and welcome to week 2 of the Sims Readathon. To catch you up on where I am, there is my last video, my week 1. Last week I pumped out 4 books for this. I think I have 5 prompts left. And when I left you, I was still in the middle of Kingdom Keepers, which I'm reading for the prompt to reread, Kingdom Keepers 5. I'm in the middle of Homicide, which I'm reading for Living Large, which is to read a book over 500 pages. And I'm reading Keeper of the Lost Cities. Keeper of the Lost City, is it plural, is it not? For Making Magic, to read a book that's fantasy or has some magical elements. So those are the books that I definitely hope to finish this week, and then I'll fill you in on other prompts as I go. It's Monday morning, I haven't done any reading yet, so let's get to it. It's Monday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. and I just finished Kingdom Keepers 5 Shell Game, which technically completes all of my prompts for the Sims Readathon. I'm not gonna do that, but like it does count for all of them. So that's cool. So now we've read 5 of our 9 books. Yay! It's Tuesday night, and the reason I haven't updated today is because I've definitely been reading, but not stuff for this readathon. Basically, I'm just not including anything about the books that are not for this readathon in this video because I'm trying to find the right balance for all my different videos. There's that. Even some that like are not being used for any other videos and will end up in a recent reads. Like I'm just not talking about them here for some reason, and that's fine. It's just the conclusion that I've come to. That's how I'm handling this. I'm hoping to read more of Keeper of the Lost Cities tonight. I forget how far I am into it, at least 15%, maybe exactly 15% of the way into it. And so I'm starting to get a grip on like the basic premise, and I'm excited to go to the like school setting for it. I think that's going to be really interesting. So far, I just know, you know, she's an elf. She's been living with humans her whole life. She just found out she's an elf. Now she's been tested. She's going to be admitted into this magical school, and she's really, really powerful because otherwise why would she be the main character, you know? And I'll catch up with you tomorrow.
Are you liking reminders?
Happy Wednesday. Last night I managed to get to the halfway mark of Keeper of the Lost Cities, and I'm still enjoying it. It's interesting because we finally got to the part where she goes to the school. It's Firefox, and I have to say I can't remember ever reading a book of this kind where they go to a magic school and it's only a day school. Like usually they're boarding schools or prep schools, at least you go for the week and then go home for the weekend. The only model I can remember that does that is the like Charlie Bone series. Other than that, they usually live there. So it's interesting to have one that's just strictly a day school. That's weird. It's cool how many powers they have and how the magic system works where like each person or each elf manifests differently. I'm interested to see how our main character grows because she's really powerful, and in some ways starting out that powerful is like, well, how are you gonna like, you know, grow? And she's already got phenomenal control over the powers that she does have, so I don't know how she's going to improve in her magic at all, but I guess we'll see because I'm watching some sprints now and I'm going to be reading more of it. I just finished Keeper of the Lost Cities and I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. I loved lots of things about this book, but it just didn't give me a 5-star feeling. I could foresee one of the future books in this series being a 5-star feeling once I get to spend more time with the characters, which seems like an odd thing to say because it's almost a 500-page middle grade book, but I do think I'll get fonder and fonder of these characters as we go. So far, my favorite characters are either Dex or Keith. I like Fitz too, but Keith is just funny. And I love that he's a guy whose special power is to read emotions. Like for some reason, I don't know, that's just brilliant to me. And then I love Dex because he's kind of an underdog character and he's there for the main character of this book, Sophie, from the very first. Whereas Fitz is like, he's been there for Sophie, but he's a little more aloof and he's like, he's older than Sophie and Dex is her same like age group in school. This is a book about a girl whose life turns upside down when this guy reveals to her that she's an elf, and she leaves her old family and moves to this elven city, and she's a telepath. She's a really strong telepath. She can read minds, she can project thoughts into other people's minds, she has lots of other special powers. She's rare and extremely powerful, and she has brown eyes, but all other elves have blue eyes. So through this book, you see her learn about the elven world. You also see her face her first conspiracy with the council. She gets into lots and lots of trouble. She's just trying to do her best. I loved Sophie's morality. Like she would do something wrong and she didn't have to admit to it, but she would. She would even do things that she didn't know were wrong and she'd be like, an adult should probably know about this. But then when it really came down to it and she needed to make the right decision, even if other people didn't approve, she very much went for the right decision. So overall, like a good character to look up to. I look forward to seeing how her relationship with her adoptive parents continues through this series. That's going to be exciting. I'm not excited about this potential love triangle, quadruple, whatever we have going on, because she has a crush on Fitz and Dex clearly has a crush on her. I don't want any part of it so far. I'm not rooting for anybody so far except for Sophie to continue being awesome. So I had a good time and I'll definitely continue the series in the future. I read this for the prompt to read something that's fantasy or has a magical element. This was definitely that. Only 3 more prompts that I need to fill for this. I'm not in the middle, but partway through Homicide for this. Like I'm 30% of the way through this. It's just a really slow read. I started it at the end of last year, but there's lots of words per page and it's very well done and like detail oriented, so I don't want to rush through it, but I'm trying to read a little bit of that every day. There's that. Reading long books is so difficult for me because I have like 8 hours and 11 minutes left of this book. And if I dedicated that time to reading shorter books, I could read like 2 full books in that time. Instead I'm reading this. And like, I get it. More books is not necessarily better books, but like there's a higher chance that you're going to land on a book you love when you read 2 books in a space of time instead of 1. Because even if you hate one of them, you might love the other. So it's like, it's a really hard mindset shift for me to read bigger books. But I'm trying this year. I'm not going to give up my short books. I'm always going to read short books, but I'm trying to add some longer ones in there. So I'm going to curl up and read this for a few minutes so we get under the 8-hour left mark and I can be on track to finish this by the end of the readathon this month. Happy Thursday. Last night I was practicing piano and somebody came in and they were like, oops, sorry. And then another guy poked his head in and it was somebody from SGA and he knows me and I know him and he said, oh, it's just Martine. And at the time I interpreted it as like, oh, it's only Martine, which is how it was meant. But just now I realized that he said just Martine. That's my channel name. I sat down with good intentions to read for like 20 minutes before heading to lunch, and then my sister immediately texted me 1 page in to my reading for Homicide for the day. And she said, I'm headed to the dining hall. And I was like, all right, never mind. It's now well into the weekend. I've been trying to make progress in Homicide. I'm hoping to finish it in this upcoming week of the readathon, but I'm now officially halfway through, which is a good stopping point for this vlog. Thanks for keeping up with me this week. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. How are you doing? What's up in your life? And subscribe for more reading, writing, and college lifestyle content. And until next time, bye humans, bye.